Have you ever logged onto a social media platform and wish you didn't? Was maybe portrayed on social media to certain lifestyles being lived down to appearances is not our reality. We are programmed to see these unrealistic standards and are expected to mimic them despite how detrimental it may be to our autonomy. When we decide to meet these standards pushed by Instagram, Snapchat, television, music, and other forms of media consumption, we are not doing it for ourselves, yet other people and how society perceives us. Therefore, tonight's speech will be in regards to how unhealthy beauty standards enable the influx of body image issues in young adolescents today. My name is Nakira Royster, and I have struggled in the past and continue to struggle with body image issues along with self acceptance as a 21-year-old adult. Now, growing up for me in mainly white areas, even going as far as to attending PWIs, which mean predominantly white institutes, as a young black girl, was very hard for me. It was hard seeing my white counterparts with blonde hair and blue eyes because I've always wondered to myself, why don't I look like them? From my textured hair type to their more fine hair, from my brown skin to their more fairer skin. At a young age, it is safe to say that I was insecure. As I gotten older, traveling through high school, I also began using social media more and more, which didn't help the self-comparison I already dealt with in the classroom. It now trickled down onto online. I seen multiple teens at the time who I wanted to look like, not caring if it was tangible or not. I even attempted to change the way I walked, talked, dressed, and sadly, even how I consumed food. Like I said earlier on, I still struggle to this day with loving my true self. So hopefully tonight's speech will help at least one person in the audience. Beauty standards are something that have been around for decades, and we have heard them constantly, especially in the 21st century. Beauty standards refer to the expectation of what society deems is considered beautiful. Eurocentric beauty standards glamorizes the look of having fair skin, straight hair, and a thin frame. Western society quickly adapted to the Eurocentric beauty standards, although areas such as the US has their own standard that glamorizes other trending looks. With the fluctuating standards, young impressionable adults are easily to be negatively influenced by these unrealistic beauty standards. Social media has passed down a major risk factor of how young adults are being fed unrealistic views of what their bodies should look like. One of the major risk factors of unhealthy beauty standards are the development of eating disorders, which are complex mental illnesses that can affect someone's eating habits, such as creating distorted eating. During 2021, the pandemic, eating disorders and the consumption of social media usage increased. Because due to self-isolation, boredom, and constant use of social media apps are all of the reasons as to why we must fight against these beauty standards. Now that we understand what beauty standards are and how they could impact us, we must discuss ways to prevent the push of unrealistic standards. Now, first, I advise everyone to look into and engage in therapy, because when we are able to identify our insecurities and able to heal from them, self-comparison on social media, along as in the real world, will not come as easy. Besides seeking professional help, it is also recommended to delete and or log off of all social media applications that promote toxic mindsets and hinder self-acceptance. These social media accounts and content creators a lot of times push social media out because of the viewership and the monetary gain, and not always because of how morally right or genuine it is. Knowing this and becoming more cognizant of how disingenuous social media pushes standards out will help us put an end to impacting our body image issues. Now, before concluding tonight's speech, I would like to read a quote by American writer and psychotherapist Amy Bloom, who stated, "You are imperfect permanently and inevitably flawed, and you are beautiful." There are many ways to interpret this message, and how I see it is once you realize that you were placed on this earth as you are and accept every flaw about you, you will finally see you as you and no one else. I want everybody in here tonight to hug themselves by the end of the night and repeat and saying, "You are beautiful," because that you are.